Hello, lovely stitchy friends. My name is Claire, and this is my Flosstube channel where I talk about all things cross stitch. Today is Tuesday, October the 8th, and we are very definitely into autumn now. And it's as my daughter likes to say as she wanders around in her witch hat, that it is definitely spooky season. So, welcome. And today, some of the things that I'm going to tell you about are kind of what I've got exciting coming up this weekend. And I have a list here of all the things I need to tell you about. I have 2 finishes to show you, 2 starts. I have 10 whips that I've worked on. And I thought that I would show you a little bit of haul and also pull out some of my Halloweeny kind of spooky pieces from my whips that probably a lot of them haven't seen a lot of love in a while, but if I get them out and show them to you, then I might be inspired to work on them and get a bit of progress. You never know. So all of that is coming up. I was going to kind of see if I could squeak in a little bit of crochet to show you as well. But I don't think I'm going to have time looking at this list. I'm showing you 23 different projects. And that is not even a third of my active whips. So I need to do a whip parade at some point, but that will take a lot of organising and I might kind of die under the avalanche of, piles of stuff. So we'll maybe in the new year we can look at that. Okay, so what I'm doing this weekend, really exciting. So on Thursday, I'm going to the Knitting and Stitching show in Ali Pali, and I'm going with a group of friends who I have my crafternoons with on Tuesday afternoons. I'm not there today for various reasons, but I usually am every Tuesday, and a group of us are going up to the centre of London. It's not far from here. I'm in Croydon, and going to go and wander around Ali Pali and see what they've got. So they've quite often got, they over the last few years, they haven't had a huge amount of cross-stitch stuff. They've had a couple of stalls. But last year they had a kind of they called it Stitching Alley or something like that, where they had more cross-stitch stalls plus other ones dotted about. And I think it's going to be the same this year. And it was much, much better with a much kind of wider variety of things to look at. So I'm going to have a look. I'm going to try and be good because, when we get to haul, I'll explain why I need to be good. But also, I'm really in the mood for getting some hand-dyed yarn now because I blame Caroline from Evertate over in Canada because I was watching her Flosstubes and she was knitting away on her kind of stripy socks that she's doing for striped September. Anyway, per September socks. And it reignited kind of that yarn love in me because I used to crochet. Some of you who've watched me for years will remember that I've been holding up crochet blankets and things like that. And that kind of fizzled out about 3 or 4 years ago. And I didn't pick up my crochet hook for a while. And now I'm obsessed again. So I have been getting at my crochet. I've got a couple of blankets that I'm working on, and I've discovered the black hole that sucks all your money away. That is hand-dyed yarn. So I have a few little bits of it, and I'm going to keep my eye out on Thursday to see if I can find any more. So at some point when I don't have quite as much to show you, I will wave some more crochet things at you as well. Okay. So that's Thursday. Then Friday, I'm going to Stitch in London retreat. I'm really excited, a little nervous actually, because even though I'm a bit of a retreat veteran now, I've been to quite a few. I've not been to one for a very long time where I haven't known anybody else who's going personally. Yeah. There's a couple of people. I know Somi Sarah will be there, and I think a couple of other names that I recognise from Flosstube and social media, but they're not my friends. I don't know them. They are lovely from what I can tell, and I'm really looking forward to meeting them. But walking in that room on Friday is going to be a little bit nerve-wracking. So if you are going to be there and you happen to see this before Friday, which is unlikely because who's up to date with Flosstube, then kind of wave and smile, and yeah, that'd be nice. I'm sure I will have a fabulous time, and I will tell you all about it when I get. So I'm really looking forward to this weekend. So what with knitting and stitching show, immediately followed by the Stitch in London retreat, I am going to get a really lovely kind of crafty, stitchy. Yay. Right. So I've also just found out that both me and my mum have got a place on the Essex Needles retreat next September. So I've got a place in the March one and in the September one. My mum is coming with me in September, and she's still on the waiting list for March because she loved the big stitch when she came in the summer with me. And I mean, it was really, really lovely to be able to introduce my mum to the cross-stitching world. She does think we're all slightly insane, but in a really good way, and she likes it. So that's great. What else? I'm looking at my list if I forget things. What else have I done? I've swapped my Patreons. I've been a Patreon for Ink Circles since the very month that she started it back in 2020. And I adore Ink Circles. I love Tracy Horner. I think she's an absolute genius. And I've really enjoyed being part of her Patreon. But I realised that I haven't really stitched any of her Patreon pieces for probably like the last couple of years. I've been collecting them, bugging them in a folder, excuse me, folder on my laptop, and not really stitching them. I have stitched some of the earlier ones, but not the later ones. I do like them. I just haven't got round to stitching them, and so it kind of felt like a bit of a waste of money. And then I saw that Yasmin's Made with Love, who I will meet this weekend, her Patreon has a lovely year-long stitch along with a different piece being released each month that I really, really like. And so I swapped. I stopped my Patreon payments for Ink Circles and swapped it to Yasmin's Made with Love. Now, I don't know if I will continue with that Patreon after this annual series has completed. We'll wait and see. I might just stop altogether and save some money because I have got so many things to stitch. I really have no business buying more. So there you go. The other thing that I've stopped is my Disney Crossstitch magazine subscription. So I liked it. I really like it, but it is quite expensive for what it is, probably because it's licensed, Disney. And I got up to, I think it was 196, and they promised they'd extended, and they said, right, it's going to finish at 220 issues. And I was like, okay, I can afford the monthly payment. I'm a bit of a completionist. I'll continue to 220 issues, and that'll be great. And then I got an email saying, oh, we're extending again now to 250 issues. And I was just like, you know what? Enough is enough. So I rang and I cancelled. So my collection is now complete at about 196 issues. So I need to go through them all, pull out all the poster pages and the what's coming next pages because they just take up room and I don't need them. And then I've already posted quite a lot of patterns that I want to do, but just condense the whole thing because in all the binders, there's a lot of it. And I'm sure I could get it down to like half the size. So that's a project for over the winter, I think. So what I've been up to, I also went and had a wonderful evening a couple of weekends ago. We went to see the Taskmaster live experience in Canada Water in London. And for those of you that don't know Taskmaster, it's a TV show where comedians kind of do ridiculous tasks that basically they're really funny, and you earn to see, you compete to see who can earn points and all that kind of thing. And so we went to the live experience of it, which meant that we got to do 5 tasks in this studio in London, and it was hilarious. It was really good fun, and I got 0 points, like no points. I was awful. It was like embarrassingly so, but it was really fun and very, very funny. So yes, if you are around, London, I would recommend it. I would recommend the lower price point. I think they're putting the prices up to like 100 quid a ticket. I think is a little bit much, but we paid about 37, and that was fine. That was lovely, but I wouldn't pay 100 for it. But it was a brilliant night out. That's all I've been up to, really. So let's move on to the stitching. What's in my basket this month? It is kind of Halloweeny. I've still got some autumnal things in here. So I've still got my Fox Few from Plum Street Sampler. I've got Witch Ride by Barbara Anna. I think this was in last month's as well. This is the Acorn Fairy by Stitchy Princess Black. And then that one is one of the bonus pieces from Spooked by Lizzie Kate. And so is this one. And so is this one. Oh, and so is this one. And then the other one in here is my happy little pumpkin dude, who is, what's it called? Nope, drawing a blank. But it's a freebie on the Plum Street Samplers blog from about like 2015. Oh, what's it called? I just call it Happy Little Pumpkin Dude. Brouhaha. Brouhaha. That's what it's called. And my little fox. So that's my basket. Up here, I have my, sorry for the glare. I think it's Country Cottage. Or is it Little House? Country Cottage Needleworks. Monthly samplers from a few years ago. The October one. And it's fallen out. I will sort that out later. Because this frame is brilliant, but like so many of these things have just fallen off because I keep changing it every month. So I need to figure out a different way to hold it in there or replace the frame. And I don't want to replace the frame. But and those were the spooked bonuses. This is the actual spooked main design that I stitched a few years ago from Lizzie Kate. It was one of their Halloween mysteries. So it was released in 3 parts. And my lovely friend Gem Stitch, turned it into a big pillow for me. So this lives on our sofa in October. Okay. My 2 finishes. 4. I don't have 4, I have 2. Now this was very nearly a finish last month, but I did finish it. And it is You Were Hatched by Teresa Wentzler. Ooh, there's so much backstitching in this tiny thing. And you can't quite see, but there's lots and lots of sparkles in it. So I'm very, very pleased with that. And that can join some of my other Teresa Wentzlers on the wall when I get it framed. And the other one was just a small one. It was from the Birds and Barns, or Barns and Birds, I'm not sure which way round it goes, Stitch Along, which is a free set of 3 patterns from the Old Barn Stitching Co. So I finished the first one. And then I've put the other 2 to one side to focus on the magazine freebies that started coming through. So over the summer, Crossstitcher and World of Crossstitch, they couldn't send any kits out because everything got delayed at the ports. And so they've decided now to make up for it in style. And both magazines gave 3 freebies each with this month's kit. So I'm like, now I've got 6 to do. Yeah, I may not do them all. My start. So in September, a lot of my stitchy friends were at the Essex Needles retreat in Stansted, and I was gutted because I could not go, but I kind of danced the night away anyway because I was at my friend's wedding. But you know, stitching retreat, I missed it. But I was in touch with people all weekend. We were sending each other photos and that kind of thing, and we had a start together. So even though I wasn't there, I felt included. And our start was Stitch's Retreat House by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. And so lots of us started this, and I'm stitching it on 32 count even weave in one of the monthly fabrics from Sparklies. And that's as far as I've got. Just lots of the bricks. And I did Retreat House first to make the point that even though I wasn't there, it's still part of it. So start number 1. And then the second start is just one of the magazine freebies, which was Toadstool House, and I haven't got a huge amount done. There. You can tell what it's going to be. So I'll get that done and it'll turn into a cushion. So, whip. I have got 10 whips that I've worked on since I last spoke to you. And my first whip is, of course, Celestial Companions by Molly Harrison, charted by Hayes. And as ever, I'm a little behind on my targets and where I want to be. I was supposed to finish this entire row in September, but I have not quite got there yet. I am so close. So close. Can you see those little bits that I have to fill in to just bring that page down? So another night stitching and it'll be done. And then I will start back over here. And that is mainly background, so I should be able to catch up. I'm attempting to do a page every 4 months. And the reason that this takes a bit longer is because I'm doing page 5 and page 6 of the row together, because otherwise you just get a little page that's like that. So I just put them together. But it does mean that there is more stitching than there is on these ones over here. Look at her. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Does absorb quite a lot of my stitching time. Jane Marshall was one of my sampler September starts. And I blame Stitchy Rach for this one, as I saw her stitching it last year. I can't remember which retreat it was, but it was one of the Essex ones. And that's as far as I've got with her. Got on some of the alphabets at the top. My first ever reproduction sampler. And I'm going to be putting her away now, I think, and bring her out again at another point. But she was out for sampler September. Time is up, Jane. Next whip is this one, which is Jacob's Band, or as it's officially called, Embroidered Ribbons by Modern Folk Embroidery. And I'm stitching this as a stitch along with a group of people that I met at the Big Stitch. And I'm using, am I using? Paint box threads. And I'm using pearl thread rather than DMC. So it's just one strand on 20 count Ada. And that's as far as I've got. So I'm homing in on the end of the first row, and then I'm looking forward to stitching with a different colour. We all said we will finish this by 2026 because that's when the next big stitch will be. So we are all supposed to finish it and bring it along to everyone stand in a row, have our pictures taken with our completed Jacob's bands. Might make it. Why not? And another one from the big stitch that I'm still plugging along up. Again, another Jacob. It's this gorgeous beast. And I just love all the colourways that people are stitching it in. And I'm just doing it in this wonderful red. And I've got as far as one of the birds this time. And I think I'll be taking this with me at the weekend to stitch on at Stitch in London. Okay, what's next? My Esther. Esther Pickford. I adore her. I adore this one. My second ever reproduction sampler. I mean, does it count as my second since I haven't finished my first one? I don't know. Now, when I showed it to you before, I'd been stitching it in a hoop, but because of the satin stitches, I thought a hoop might squash them or push them out of their formation. So I've popped her on scroll rods, so I feel a little bit safer with all of the satin stitches. And that's as far as I've got with her. And this is on 32 count green even weave from Sparklies. It's one of the fabrics of the month, so it doesn't have a name. Look at the satin stitches. I do think that if I did stitch this on something smaller, say 40 count or something, which not going to happen, then the satin stitches might look a little bit better in that there's gaps. Because it's on 32 count, there's gaps. And I think if the fabric was a closer weave, like 40 count, then those gaps wouldn't be there. But it's really shiny. And it's only DMC, but it is still really shiny. So, yeah, I'm enjoying stitching on her. She's staying out. She is not going away like Jane is. Now, I'm trying to kind of stitch some of the Patreon pieces that I've paid for over the last 4 years, and I want to move on to the Yasmin ones. So I'm going to finish this one that I've got going from Ink Circles and then start one of the ones that I adore from Yasmin. And this one was released in 2020 and I still haven't finished it, which shows how much I'm stitching the Patreon pieces. And this is Elemental Harmony by Tracy Horner of Ink Circles. And the 4 little dragons of the elements. And I'm working on the air one up here at the moment. So I've done the fire one and the earth one. I've just got the air and the water to do. Next one is Snowdrop Cottage. So this is one of my kind of whips that I am trying to get do a band and then put it away and then pull it out and do another band. And so I'm up here at the moment. And this is a chart from Crossstitcher magazine and it's one of 4. And I would like to do all of them. I've got all of them and I really like them. And they would look great, I think, displayed up here somewhere in the appropriate season. So this is where I am. No matter how long the winter, spring is sure to follow. And I'm nearly done with this band. And then it can go away for a little while. And then my Sunday stitch, which honestly I've only stitched on, I think maybe one, maybe two Sundays since I last saw you, because I'm trying to catch up on Celestial Companions. And this is Jonah's Whale by Tempting Tangles. My fish, he looks sad, doesn't he? And there's a lot of confetti in this fish. So I am looking forward to getting to the borders. And we have Strawberry Time by Barbara Anna. And I stitch on this at my Crafternoon on Tuesdays. And there's a number of ladies there who just think it's hilarious that I'm stitching a bird in a dress. I'm like, you know nothing. You wait till I get all my Stacey Nash weird animals out. But there she is, and her dress is growing. And then she has vines over her. I don't have a cover picture for her because she was a magazine release and I didn't print out a cover. And another one I've been stitching on Tuesdays is the Sea Turtle from Bothy Thread, which still looks just like a really colourful blob. Can't tell what it is at all. And I like the blue fabric, but because it's printed now, I don't know if you'll be able to see. Can you see just there? I've caught the fabric and some of the blue has come off. So I might need to get a pen or something and colour it in, but then it'll probably look hideous knowing me. So I have to do that very carefully. But yes, it is just a colourful blob at the moment, but it's going to be a beautiful sea turtle. The colours on that are just gorgeous. And that is all the whips. That's all I've worked on since I last saw you. Some of them more than others. The Celestial Companions has had quite a few hours into it. But it needs a few more because I'm behind. But I'll catch up. Right, haul. Huge amount. I make no promises about how much I'm going to spend this coming weekend. But for now, I've got a few. I've got these from Marketplace. Are the Stacey Nash animals? Look at her. Sorry about the glare. Look. Oh goodness, she's gonna be one of my 50 starts next year. Absolutely. And then there's the fox and the rabbit with her mask. That's what she looks like without the mask. And I have the squirrel as well. But the squirrel arrived separately, and can I find it? No, I cannot. It's there somewhere. But animals in clothes. I like them. What else have we got? This is the fabric that I'm going to do the Yasmin's Made with Love Patreon charts on. And it's a fat half of 16 count burnt orange from XG Design. And I ordered it after the big stitch. We got an email to say that XG Designs were happy to honour the pre-order price that she had offered to Big Stitch attendees if we wanted to order anything else now. And I wanted to order a crap ton of this. This is huge. This is like a bedspread. The bedspread. Oh my goodness. I possibly won't use all of it for those, but it's a set of 12 little pillows. So I'll probably use kind of that much for each one. And even though the stitching area is probably that much, but because I'll be doing them separately, probably about that much per cushion. So that's nice. Everyone always says about how they smell. Well, it's not coffee dyed anyway. Doesn't really smell of anything. Sorry. And what else did I get? Apologies for the crackling. But these are the sparkly fabrics of the month. May, June, because it arrived late. It's a mottled grey. I don't want to take it out of the package. And this one is a gorgeous neutral kind of orangey, Halloweeny kind of colour. So they're definitely going to be used. So I was just thinking I need some more neutrals because I've got a lot of things to kit up for next year. And I don't always want to put the things on really wild, dark colours, which a lot of the fabric of the month has been recently. And then these two turn up and I'm like, it's like Kate can read my mind. Thank you, Kate. What else? And the last thing I have to show you here is I got 3 Blackbird Designs charts on a D-stash on Facebook. So I got the Long and Winding Road to add to my Magical Mystery Claw collection. Morning Star, which I thought was cute. And then I really like this one. It's one of their loose feathers. I can't even pronounce this. Abecedarian series. My Friend's House. I really like that one. So on the back, there's pictures of all of the Abecedarian ones. I like that one as well. So add those to the Blackbird stash. What else? Why I have to be good is that I have signed myself up for the Bella Filipina Black Waters Stitch Along. Now, I don't know if you've seen it. Basically, it's just a silhouette at the moment because it's a mystery stitch along. And it's going to be, it looks like a mixture of mermaids and kind of there's definitely some tentacles in there. So maybe there's like an octopus lady. And the idea is that they're all a bit spooky, a bit evil, kind of dark mermaids kind of thing who live with the ocean. It's quite expensive. I think it was like $45 just for the chart. But if you look at the silhouette, it's got at least 4 of their regular size kind of images in it. So yeah, I think that's why it's so expensive. But I've signed up for the chart. But then fabric, because it's such a huge design, fabric won't fit on a fat quarter. And so I've ordered some fabric for it from Megan from Coffee Craft Fabrics. And she's going to dye a whole load of it just specifically for that stitch along. So it might not be available after she's done that dye. And she said that we don't need to commit to buying it until we've seen what she comes up with. So we might not like it. But that's going to be another 45 quid. And then there's the reds on top of it, and there's quite a lot of sparkles, kind of metallic threads, so petite treasure braids. There's a lot of beads in it. So all of that obviously makes the price jump up. So I've ordered the kit for it from Hawkins Hobbies. So Zarina said that will take about 4 weeks because they've got to order all the bits in and then put it all together and send it out. So add all that together. Ouch. I need to be very careful not to buy everything that I see at the Knitting and Stitching show and at the retreat this weekend because I have blown my budget out the water already. But I can't wait. It's going to be gorgeous. I love Bella Filipina stuff anyway. It's always beautiful. They do mermaids so beautifully, and I think it's going to be fabulous. So I've sold my kidneys and signed my life up for that. And the other thing that I bought this month, I didn't really want to, but I bought myself the Gift of Stitching magazine. And why I say I didn't really want to is because I wanted to save money but there was a notice on it saying that it's closing down. And I've had my eye on this for over a year, where you pay, it's about like 25 quid or something, and you get all of the 72 magazines in one download. And there's some beautiful, beautiful pieces in there. And I was like, I don't want to miss my opportunity to get it. So I bought it. So I bought that actually yesterday, and I've gone through about 10 of the magazines so far, and there's 3 or 4 things already that have leapt out at me. And there's a little chatelaine in there, there's some ink circles in there, and so that I will definitely use it. I will stitch it at some point. We're just saving up for retirement or my next life at this point. But so that's what I bought as well. Right. Before we go, I'm going to show you the rest of my whips, which are Halloween related, and there are 9 of them. Okay, so first is this beautiful lady. She is the Halloween. In this magazine or download, it was from Hirschner's, and they called her the Halloween Fairy. But it's a Nora Corber, and Nora Corber has another piece called Halloween Fairy. So I'm calling her the Trick or Treat Fairy. And I've seen her completed at the Milton Keynes retreat. Somebody was stitching on her. And that's as far as I've got with her. I did stitch on her last October. And I think I'm going to keep her out and see if I can get a bit of progress on her this month. She's so snooty. The next one is an ink circle from Just Cross Stitch Halloween 2016. And I think that you can also get this from her website, Ink Circle's website now. I think she's released it. And this is the pumpkin tree. And that's as far as I've got with that one. Love the little owl. I'm doing all the outline first and then I'll fill it in. Another ink circles. Wings and things. She did a whole series of these mandalas. And this is on a piece of chromatic alchemy fabric. I have no idea what colour it is. And that's as far as I've got. And I'm using some beautiful Gloriana silk threads for this one, just because I picked them up at a knitting and stitching show a few years ago. And when you're faced with a wall of silk, it's like, this one, can you tell what it is? This one is Senor Skull from Brooks Books. Now, let me look on my phone because it was a download, and so I didn't print out the picture. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. And he's going to look there. He's going to look like that. And I've got her somewhere as well, and I've finished her. Again, can't find her. She's not where I thought she was. And that's as far as I've got. So I actually, when I picked it up to do this video, I was surprised because I thought that I'd done all the white, and I haven't. Another perforated, oh yeah, he is on perforated paper. I mean, obviously. Yeah. Another perforated paper one, and this was on Halloween. It was another Just Cross Stitch Halloween one, but this one hasn't got the year on. And this is another Brooks Books, and she is Penelope Pumpkin. And that's as far as I've got on her. And the last time I got her out, I realised I didn't have all the sparkly threads that I needed to finish her. So I put an order in, and now I've got them. So I ought to keep her out as well and see if I can put some of those in, I think. And Plum Street Samplers, a bowl full of Scary's Scary One, and a couple of my stitchy friends from Retreats are stitching this with me. And that's as far as I've got. Not too much more to have finished that. Story of my life. And then another Nora Corber, Gwen. And I'm stitching her on Sparkly's fabric. And this one is sparkly. It's kind of an opalescent green. You can't really, it's not showing up the depth of colour on the screen. But that's her dress so far. I always kind of look at this and think she needs to eat more. Have a Mars bar. Witches don't eat Mars bars. Then I've got two more. Two more. You're nearly done, I promise. This is my Heaven and Earth called, it's Mini Witch Way, and I'm looking because I haven't got a printout. I printed out the cover in black and white, and it's that big in black and white, so I was like, you don't want to see that. I will show it you on my phone. That's what she's going to look like. Can't really see her face. The glare is too much. She has got a face, I promise. But the colours in her are just beautiful. And my friend in Canada, Sarah, bought her for me a few years ago. And I'm still on page 1. And I've kind of jumped over into that page a little bit to chase the colour. But I need to work a little bit down. And if I manage to catch up on Celestial Companions, I'm going to put some stitches into her as well. Look at that sky. So dark and broody. And again, I need to show you another picture on my phone of, this one will be a familiar one to many of you, Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow. It's not doing it. Well, you get the idea. And I've done block 1 and I'm on block 2. And I'm stitching this 1/1 on 28 count. And it's not hand dyed anything, it's just a plain kind of beige 28 count. Because otherwise it would be messy. And I didn't want a massive one. And that, my lovely friends, is that. 23 projects in 43 minutes, although I did waffle at the beginning, I think. So can you imagine how long it's going to be to do a full-on whip parade? I have currently 93 projects and I'm doing 50 new starts next year. Why? Why am I doing this? It's going to be fun, a lot of fun. And as 2025 is getting closer and I'm starting to make sure I've got everything I need for January and February, I'm starting to get really excited. The trouble is that people keep releasing new charts that I want to add in. So yesterday, Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery released another Lord of the Rings chart. So this one's the Dwarven Act. And I'm like, well, I've already got his Nemarie tapestry, which is another Lord of the Rings one, in my plans for 2025. Do I put them both in? Yes, probably, because it's Lord of the Rings. And you know, that always has a place in my heart. So I need to stop. I need people to just stop releasing beautiful, fabulous charts that I have to have and that I really have to stitch, because you know, you're just messing up my plans. It's just a bit rude, really. So wait until 2026. So good. So good. Right. Fabulous to spend time with you. Thank you for putting up with me, and lovely to hopefully see some of you this weekend. And I will see you in a few weeks' time, and I will let you know all what I've been stitching on and how the Ali Pali and retreat madness went, and how much I didn't spend. If you see me, hold me to account on that. All right. Happy stitching, everybody. Have a wonderful October. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.